Okay guys, what we have here is a video that's primarily being filmed for Sideshow to review this this statue, because as of right now they're kind of just passing the buck along in their customer service, and obviously I'm disgruntled that I have to take time out of my life to do something like this and to kind of like blow the whistle on their customer service because how atrocious it is to try and get some kind of help out of them. Like, it shouldn't be like this, but it is, unfortunately. But I have a little sun bouncing off my hardwood, and it's kind of hitting the Wolverine in the face, but it's working to my advantage for this, because you can see how shiny and almost greasy like his flesh toned area is. Also, I'll highlight better later, but they tried to go in with and do touch-ups on the black part of the cowl with a black that isn't the same black that they used in production. So one's like flat, one's glossy. It looks like kind of like matte and glossy polka dots on there. That I'm not even too upset about. I actually just noticed that right now. That wasn't in my initial complaints. It's like the longer I look at this thing, the more I find. So anyway, I was going to order this directly through Sideshow, but the woman I spoke with on the phone, she didn't have a lot of knowledge on the product and couldn't really answer my questions very well. So I started looking on eBay. I decided not to go the eBay route just because of if there was going to be an issue, just the price of this thing and a PayPal claim, and it was just too much of a nightmare. So I actually found one at a comic book store that was kind of a hike from me, but the guy had one still sealed. Still banded together, never opened up in the back of his store. He just never took out because he had no room to display it. That was great for me because I'd be technically the first owner of that piece in my eyes. You know, any time in life when you can buy something that's sealed as opposed to something that has already been used or displayed, obviously you would still go for the sealed thing. I mean, but to Sideshow's point, that's not the case. So anyway, moving along. I decided to purchase through the comic store because, frankly, I like to help the small businesses. If I'm going to spend my hard-earned money, I'd like to give it to someone who is also, working the 9 to 5, and that's just how I am. That's me, and I chose that. And in hindsight, because I chose that, I'm being punished with an inferior product that nobody will help me with via Sideshow's customer service. So basically, I don't understand Sideshow as a question. Why do you even sell to retailers if this is going to be such a hassle for the final customer of the product? You should strictly sell through your website only. I choose to buy through a comic shop. They're basically going extinct because of digital comics and just the way of the world. And again, I get punished for it. So I'm going to highlight the things that are wrong with the statue and what I've been told. And so in a nutshell, what we got is there's black rubs all over the fabric of the costume. The spacing on the claws is really bad. The right-hand claws are super loose and not spaced right, and the left-hand claws are not loose, but they're spaced horribly. I just noticed the shiny thing on the face. I don't care. I had a really big problem with the black smudges on the yellow at first, but I'm kind of over that. I've tried everything I can to get them off. I tried this Tide stick stuff that worked kind of good. I actually carried the lower half because that's where my biggest problem was. So like from like his waist down, I actually brought that into a dry cleaner, and I held this thing like a child and let her use a steam cleaner on it. It took about a half hour. It was about $30, and it really didn't have any effect. So the black marks that are on there, they're basically on there for the most part. So I'm dealing with this guy, and his name is Daniel Campisi. He's helped me before in the past with the Cross-Eyed Rogue, which was another quality fail. And they're just rampant these days. I mean, you have the Iron Man Legendary Scale bust with the arc reactor upside down, the Batman that's been pushed back how long, the armpits, and then upside down pouches, and there's just, quality's horrible. Prices are going up on these pieces, and the quality's going down, and the edition sizes are going up. So it's crappy for a collector. Anyway, back to this piece. I'm going to try and stay on topic here. I talked to the guy, Daniel, and he basically said, I got to get in touch with the comic store to try and figure something out. If the comic book store can't help me out or something goes south, to get back in touch with him and he'd see what he could do. So I'm like, okay, so for the video's sake, the comic book store owner can't help me. We're just going to say that he's unavailable at this moment. I'm not going to shout out his situations in life, but he can't help me. So I go to, I shoot Daniel an email yesterday, let him know, you know, unfortunately the guy can't help me. I'm willing to settle for, can you just replace my hands with the claws, because they detach, and I can just send you the hands and the claws and just give me another set of hands. Instantly I get an email back, you know, our apologies, and basically they just passed the buck along and said there's nothing that they can do because I bought it from a comic book shop and he's the person who needs to file the claim, but he can't do that. And there's not going to be a claim. So me as the customer, the final person, am totally screwed. Sideshow is basically bending me over and raping me on this product. And they don't care. They just basically, it's like they have a key on their keyboard next to like the F4, which is like the I don't care, pass a buck key. And when they get a quality plaint, they're just like, click, click. And, you know, from all the horror stories I hear, it's becoming more and more common. So the guy, Daniel, explains to me that as far as the smudges, his story is that, if you look at this art right here, this is the art that goes with the, before I get to the art, check out the envelope that this comes in. Look at the scathing up the sides. Look at that. Now look at the box. The box looks like it was dropped down steps at their warehouse and then dragged across the warehouse floor. Like their forklift wasn't working, so they just tied a rope to it and dragged it to shipping or something. And so it looks horrible, but I don't care about that. That doesn't bother me. But back to the picture here. Okay, so here's Wolverine in the snow. Okay, so I didn't even put this together at the time. But so this guy Daniel tells me, you have to understand with the black smudges that Wolverine is walking through Alberta, Canada during a snowstorm, and that's why he's dirty. Okay, fair enough. We're going to say, as an excuse for poor quality, the fictional character is walking through a fictional environment where it happens to be fictionally snowing. Fine. I mean, unless he's walking through the video game called Silent Hill, I've never seen snow that comes down black or like ash. But whatever. So let's go along with the story. Okay, so he's walking along in the snow. That's why he's dirty. He's got some bullet holes in his shoulder guards there, his shoulder pads, and some scrapes. Maybe in this crazy snowstorm he encountered some disgruntled snowmen who have M16s, and you know, he had to dispatch them in this fictional world. Whatever you want to think happened. Hey, maybe before he hopped up on this little perch, you know, he got down on the ground and he did Wolverine Snow Angels, and then he got his adamantium claws stuck in the dirt, which, you know, bent them up, and now they're not, you know, spaced properly. You know, he wanted to get a little cardio in before his fight with Sabretooth. That's crazy talk. Trying to justify quality issues with a story of the character being in, it's just nonsense. But okay, so let's check it out. Let's embrace this. All right, he's in this snowy terrain. Okay, let me ask you a question. Where's the snow on the base? There is no snow. Okay, so besides that he's in this snowy environment, he finds the one perch of rock that has no snow on it, and he hops on it. Because there's no snow on this base. The only white thing you might see on this base is another lack of quality where paint is chipped and looks like white. There's not a single snowflake on this thing. Again, I don't care about that. I don't care about any of that. I don't care about the box. I don't care about the base, not having snow. That doesn't bother me. Even this envelope thing, I'm over. I don't care. I'm even over the smudges on the costume. I am not over the claws. The claws are ridiculous. The two-tone black repair jobs that they did on the cowl, atrocious. I mean, I feel like that there's a secretary at a desk with like some craft black paint that they got from Michael's, and they're like, oh shit, you know, we got a little smudge on this. Hit it with this. Yeah, we're good. Oh, you run out of that? Use some fingernail polish. Whatever, get by. You know, whatever. We could just tell them to go screw off because we're customer service. It doesn't matter. So, anyway, I'm going to take you in a little closer so you can see what I'm talking about on this. We're off the tripod now. This one might be a little shaky. So, look at the spacing. Look at how bad that is. I mean, it's just horrible. And then over here, I'm not sure if you can see it, but look at do you see the brown where the paint is all chipped off? You know, it's really bad. And I don't know if you could see if I can get you in here. Do you see the different blacks? I mean, I know it's going to be hard to kind of tell, but the different dots, the repairs that they try to do along this thing, it's just horrible. It's a $2,000 piece, guys. You know, and I'm going to show you the other imperfections next. I'm going to take the pieces off. All right. Okay, these are the claws off. Use the cardboard as a backdrop. Okay, so you see the spacing. It's a little off. Could you even argue maybe I'm being nitpicky on this? Well, some guys would freak the hell out over this. Maybe possibly I could be being a little nitpicky in the spacing. It's not too bad, right? Let's look at the next set. What? Like, really? How bad is that? That's bad spacing, guys. And the other hand, these ones aren't loose per se. Like, I could turn these one upside down. The other one I couldn't do that on because the claws would fall out. You know, and it's just really horrible that this is happening, and this is the customer service that you guys are, you know, displaying. It's really unfortunate. It's like, I don't want to use the word heartbreaking because that sounds like pretty, you know, dramatic. But man, I got a ton on pre-order with you guys, you know, and I'm really thinking about canceling everything because of how you guys handled this situation. Like, come on, really. Whoever is going to see this video, put yourself in my shoes. Would you want a product like this with claws like this? This is the most important part of Wolverine. I'm willing to look past every other thing. Get me some new hands and some new claws. What's so hard about that? Do I got to start a poll? Do I got to get a 1,000 likes? Like, why is it got to be like that? Why can't you guys just do right by the customer? And I'll show you. Like, we'll go into my collection room. This is not, I'm not ready for a video for some collection room. This is like a third of my stuff too. Most of my stuff is in storage. But just so you can see, like, you know, I have a huge collection. And how much of it is Sideshow? A ton. A ton of it is. Like, come on, guys. Do the right thing. Thank you for watching. Bye.